Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Today we're diving into a story that has set timelines on fire and sent a jolt of nostalgia through every fan who ever laughed, cried, or hit replay on a scene from Karalık Aşk. Elçin Sangu and Barış Arduç are preparing to share the screen again. If you enjoy long-form, text-to-speech friendly breakdowns that tell the whole arc from first hint to final reveal, please like this video, subscribe, and hit the join button to support more episodes. Now, let's get into it. For many of us, Elçin and Barış aren't just two names, they're a shorthand for a very specific chemistry, sparkling banter, grounded tenderness, and that precise timing that makes a romantic beat feel earned rather than manufactured. Years passed, careers evolved, and both actors made deliberate, independent choices. The public learned to love them separately. And then, one ordinary weekday, everything shifted. Without fanfare, each posted a quiet image. A script binder on a wooden table, two chairs angled toward each other, and a slate clapper that read only a working title. No character names, no logline, just enough to say, something is happening, and it's happening together. The announcement strategy was deliberate. According to people who understand rollouts, the goal wasn't shock, it was credibility. Let the news land without noise, then add layers. A few hours later, short clips appeared, close-up hands flipping pages at a table read, laughter off mic, the rustle of paper as a scene reset. You never saw their faces in these first dispatches, only gestures. It was a sly reminder of what made them iconic, not just looks, but rhythm. The message between the frames was simple. We're back, and we're bringing craft with us. Naturally, speculation exploded. Is this a sequel in disguise? A modern reimagining? A completely new story that simply trusts the audience to follow these two wherever they go? On that point, the team has been careful. The project is built to honor the legacy of their partnership, not replay it. From what has been shared, this is not a copy-and-paste romance. It's a contemporary drama with comedic oxygen, grown characters who have lived a little, failed a little, and know that timing is not just a plot device but a moral question. The tone? Intimate rather than sugary, witty rather than snarky, romantic without surrendering to cliché. Behind the scenes, pre-production moved fast but not reckless. A mood board circulated among department heads, city textures at magic hour, a color palette that favors soft neutrals punctuated by one bold accent per scene, wardrobe choices that whisper biography instead of screaming trend. The cinematography plan leans on natural light and old-school blocking so the performers, not the camera, carry the electricity. This is the kind of show that believes a close-up lands only after the wide shot has something to say. The table read took place in a rehearsal room that looked almost monastic, a long table, name cards, highlighters, water bottles, and a small bell to keep time. Elçin arrived with her script already mapped, tabs like a city skyline. Barış brought a clean copy and an index card with 3 notes in block letters. They didn't start with their first big scene. They began with a smaller exchange, the kind of dialogue that lives or dies on breath control and subtext. The first joke landed not because it was written to land but because the actors trusted each other's silence. When the room finally laughed, it felt like relief, not nostalgia. The crew didn't clap. They smiled and kept listening. From there, the practicalities took over. Costume tests favored character logic, clothes that explain lives. If her character runs a small creative studio, her jackets have deep pockets and her shoes can actually walk a city. If his character manages complex negotiations, his tie knots tighten as the episode stakes rise, then loosen when he learns to breathe. Nothing fussy, nothing that breaks continuity for the sake of a screenshot. Props were treated the same way. When a notebook appears, it isn't cute, it's evidence. Locations were scouted with intention. The production wants Istanbul not as a postcard but as a living partner in the narrative. Think morning ferries, neighborhood streets where the same baker nods at the same customers, and rooftop lines where conversations stretch as long as the view. A single hallway, meticulously lit, will probably do more dramatic work than an entire plaza. You can tell the showrunner understands the city. The script calls for places where sound bends, underpasses, courtyards, stairwells, because reverberation changes how people speak and listen. Of course, the reunion raises the question of boundaries. Both actors have spent years learning that you protect the performance by protecting the process. This time, guardrails are built in. Fewer open sets. Planned fan interactions instead of chaotic drop-bys. Social posts that reveal texture, not plot. Media commitments are concentrated, not scattered, with each interview serving a different purpose, one about process, one about character, another about the themes the show wants to touch. If that sounds measured, that's because it is. Intimacy on screen asks for discipline off screen. What about the characters themselves? Early hints suggest a dynamic tuned for adulthood. Her character is someone who's good at delivering other people's stories and terrible at narrating her own. His character knows how to win negotiations and keeps losing small daily battles with himself. They are not opposites for the sake of friction, they're adjacent puzzles. The series chooses less will they / won't they? And more can they meet without erasing what makes each of them work? That's a harder question, and a richer one. Marketing is rolling out in chapters. Chapter 1 was proof of life, scripts, chairs, sound of pages. Chapter 2 will be the first look, still frames that show body language more than plot mechanics. Chapter 3 will be a dialogue teaser, 15 seconds of overlapping lines that don't reveal the storyline but prove the cadence is intact. Only after that will we get a full trailer. The calendar isn't public yet, but the structure signals confidence. When the product is strong, you can afford to unveil it slowly. International distribution is built into the plan. Subtitles and dubbing teams were looped in early, which matters because chemistry can evaporate when timing gets lost in translation. The show is designing time-aligned scripts for key languages so punchlines and turns of phrase land where the eyes land, not 2 beats late. That level of care is invisible when done well, and unforgivable when ignored. Let's talk about expectations. Nostalgia can be a trap. Book your memory and you'll never make anything new. This reunion seems allergic to that mistake. When Elçin and Barış sat down for a quiet, off-camera chat before rehearsals, the intention wasn't let's recreate that old feeling. It was let's build something that respects what we've learned since. They're not the same artists they were back then, and that's the point. Gravity can be romantic, too. The fan response has been a case study in organized devotion. Instead of demanding set leaks, leading fan groups drafted guidelines: don't swarm locations, don't pressure extras for footage, and don't tag family members who aren't part of the production. Clip accounts committed to sourcing responsibly. Translation accounts promised context over speed. It's remarkable how a community can evolve when the artists set the tone and the audience matches it. There's also a meta-narrative worth noting: this reunion is not a retreat to safety, it's a risk. It's easier to protect a legacy by never touching it again. Choosing to work together again says they trust the audience to grow, too. If the story lands, it won't be because they repeated a formula. It will be because they remembered the first principle that made them great: generosity. With each other, with the crew, and with us. So what happens next? In the coming weeks, look for that first look drop and a short featurette from the table read. Expect a release window announcement that balances local broadcast rhythms with global streaming habits. Keep an eye on the official accounts for behind-the-scenes stills that reveal craft without spoiling arcs: a shot of blocking marks on the floor, a post-it note on a camera, a storyboard panel with half the lines blurred. That's how professional productions talk: they let process speak and keep plot sacred. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of viewer this reunion is for: someone who loves the story and the scaffolding that holds it up. Tell me in the comments what you most want from this project: sharper banter, quieter intimacy, a city that feels like a character, or just the simple relief of seeing two artists you trust sharing a frame again. Do you prefer a limited series that ends clean, or a season model that leaves room to breathe? Thank you so much for watching and listening. If this deep dive gave you more clarity than the rumor feeds, please like the video, subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, take care and goodbye.